Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of House of Tremere. This week's episode, My Worst Enemy. I wonder what that could be referring to. Actually, it's my own worst enemy. With that, why don't we get to some introductions? Let's get this ball rolling. This week, let's start off with the one, the only, the regent of our Mouse House of Tremere. Bob, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hey everyone, Team Ty Bob. I play Jordy, who is the mid-level manager slash regent of the Tremere slash I guess also maybe not mid-level manager since I don't have anyone to report to. Help.
Fair enough. Uh, with that, up next, Emily, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi, I'm Emily. I play Cass Price, the investigator and the head of security, I guess. I've done none of the head of security things, so that's fine.
Fun, fun, fun. I'm sure things will go fine and nothing bad will ever happen. Next up, Bree, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hi everyone, I'm Ree here. I play Maruna, our should have been a Malkavian Tremere, who reads tarot cards and has been seeing bad things on the way for a long time, and now they're bad. Yeah, I'm excited to see what horrors this week brings.
Oh yes, I'm sure it'll be fascinating. Though if I
Indeed.
remember last time you were around some Malkavians, your friends dragged you away. What's with that? It's strange.
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah, they just don't get it.
just don't get it. Uh, Up next, Zach, why don't you give us your introduction for us?
Hello. I'm Zach, and I am back with Hasib. Hasib, who is the perpetual student, the new kid on the block, the optimist, who would definitely not have his spirits and hopes and dreams crushed by the crumbling of the pyramid. He is back to uh, try to figure out what the best path forward is now that we have all sorts of new toys and new prophecies and scrolls from ancient days, from beginning of the clan stuff. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Lots of interesting lore being unraveled. And I wonder what you shall do with such information. With that, we move to our last but certainly not least. Cyberbro, why don't you give us your introduction?
Hello, I am Cyberbro. I'll be playing Dr. Quentin Quengle, an expert in the flesh and the mind.
Very nice. Uh, and then there is me. Hello, I am Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and this is my Twitch channel slash YouTube channel. If you're watching the VOD that's been uploaded, I hope you enjoy. I hope you're excited for more as we unravel the pyramid and begin to see the inner workings of a clan of Tremere that has begun to fall into perhaps disrepair, perhaps an eternal pit of damnation that they cannot climb themselves out of. We shall have to see how things will unravel. And with that, sorry, I have a bit of a cough today. Um, I would like to start off with an announcement. Guess what? We have a new channel points feature. You are now able to spend your blood points for watching the stream and interacting on a special system where you can add a dice towards the pool of the game of the stream you're watching. For example, if you were to spend it today, you would add a pool into the House of Tremere blood pool, of which our players can pull from for extra dice. So yeah, feel free to do so. As well, we have a few emotes that we have added, such as the blood emote and the blood point emote and the blood point spent emote. So if at any point you see one of our players spending a point of blood from their blood pool and you are a subscriber, why don't you just spam that emote as much as possible, but not too much that you know, our dear little defensive I forget his name, our bot
Nightbot?
yeah,
Nightbot, right?
Nightbot doesn't lose his shit. But yes. And if you don't have access to the blood spent emote, why don't you consider subscribing? Why don't you do that? Every little bit helps. Of course, you don't have to, but if you do, thank you. And yeah, I think with that, let's jump right in. At this point, why don't we start with a recap while I get my notes in order?
Sure, I think I can do us a little recap of last session. So let me look at Hasib notes here, which Hasib takes plentiful notes. Well, let's start off with I believe we did start with Hasib cracking open the chest, the old regent's chest, and then eventually getting access to a scroll, which was penned by Tremere himself, supposedly. There's probably a lot of knockoffs and all that stuff, but it gave the recipe, the ritual, the occult way of supposedly bringing back power to the clan. Now it's very vague and very pricey. The ingredients to do this ritual may include the sacrifice of a certain seed of Eden, which the crew eventually thought maybe that's this daughter of Eve we hear so much about. But that was just Hasib and good boy Michael in the library, as the rest of the crew was out for a little feed session, a little slice of life. And I think it was Dr. Quangle who suggested a certain place, if I am not mistaken. Was it the El Dorado Club? A nice party place. It was quite the atmosphere, and each of our intrepid Tremere went about feeding in various ways, and we got to see a little bit of how they do that. I think it's the first time, really, other than Jordy and Quangle getting roughhoused by a possible primogen of the Bruja clan. But this is the first time we got to see them all feeding, and eventually finding out, after some were successful in feeding, that they had to leave because it was actually a nest of vipers, you could say. The Setites were actually in control of that club, and we didn't know. And that means they're on our territory, because that club was within Tremere territory. But what is Tremere territory anymore? I don't know. Anyway, getting out of the club. Jordy's still angry. You could call him Hangry Jordy, because he was on the verge of a blood frenzy from, failing to feed in the club. So a poor passerby, as we're driving by, may have had a pretty bad night, as he swiped the blood mystically through the air, just ripping it out of the poor fella. And just like a Snickers bar, Jordy wasn't so angry anymore, but Jordy's always kind of angry. Many were appalled, but they had to make one last stop, of course, for Kess's friend. Wink, wink. And Kess went up to his friend's place to feed. And during that, I think that was when Hasib called and someone picked up and told them the whole spiel that he may have unlocked the chest and got into the scroll case, and inside the scroll written by Tremere. And we came back to discuss various things, like how we gonna get the seed from the museum, maybe a little face-off action where we may change some faces, and that sparked some interesting debate between what's the discipline that the Zamis have? The flesh crafting?
Vicissitude.
Maybe that's what it is. Vicissitude, yes. the good doctor might have similar abilities. And we need to sneak into the museum somehow. But the discussion was kind of tabled for the moment. Maruna and Kess had a little talk as Kess was listening to some I think it was some screamo or metal music. It was great. And then we ended with Jordy taking some time to venture into the depths of the chantry, seeking the spirit that powers the entire thing, and how possibly looking for avenues of strength and power that we may survive with. The spirit said, you know, if you just sacrifice a couple powerful beings or kindred even to me, I can grant you power. Seems trustworthy. I think we should do it. And that is all I got.
All right then. Is there anything else anyone want to add? And with that, we will jump right in. As we focus in on a radio within the Tremere chantry once more. As we watch as it splutters to life, as the sun sets in the distance, and a familiar voice cuts through the static. It is Wednesday night in New Angleham. I am your disc jockey Caligula, and welcome to the midweek meltdown. Today, well, as it's hump day for the most of the people, it's gonna be a special kind of breakdown day for the rest of us who are still up at this ungodly hour. If you manage to still stand, well, at this point of the night, congratulations, you're about halfway to freedom. But tune in, it might just get you the rest of the way. This week, I had a mysterious message that was left on my desk. No name, no number, just scribbling on the back of a diner receipt. It just said, "Why do I keep doing this?" Don't you worry, stranger. We're all wondering the same question. After all, some of us sabotage our own lives like it's a sport. Ghost good people, drunk dial old flames, and swear we'll never do it again. Right before the cycle repeats. So here's a little anthem for the ones who can't get out of their own way. Lit, 1999. My own worst enemy. Turn it up. You've earned this one. With that, the hard, electrifying beat of My Own Worst Enemy by Lit opens up into the sound waves. As we focus in on someone slightly the night before. Geordie. After the ordeal that has just happened, or perhaps more to say, deal that has been made, you find yourself sitting in your room as you wait for the sleep of the damned to overtake you. You find yourself playing back the day's events, or rather the night's events. Your frustration, your anger, your hunger, all of it plays through you, flows through you, like electrified wire. However, you can't help but find yourself thinking back to that moment as you are driving by that poor soul on the street. In that moment, maybe it was the beast. Maybe it was just because you wanted something. what you took from him, violating his sacred soul in a way that is deeply inhuman, ripping the blood from his veins using the vile magics that have been gifted to you. I would like you to make a conscience roll. This will be difficulty 6.
Got it.
One success. You feel that pull deep in your soul, in the back of your mind. It doesn't matter. You took what you needed to in the moment. It was yours. All of it is yours. But then you recognize the voice is not your own, but the beast within that desires more. It desires destruction and hunger. You know that if you let it have what it wants, it will destroy you and everything around you. What you did was unforgivable. You know that. And with that, the sweet embrace of death overcomes you as you are forced into the dreamless sleep of the damned. At which point, I would like all of you to spend a point of blood. And Dr. Quangle, I would like you to roll your willpower difficulty 7. Let's play some music, shall we? Was that your roll? 2 successes. In the night, Dr. Quangle, you are one of the rare few who do not have a dreamless asleep. Visions flow through your mind. Sounds of screeching tires, the tearing of metal, and a feeling of pain deep in your soul. But this is not your first time with this experience. You have had years to dwell upon these feelings and thoughts. Enough that you can push it back to that dull numbness in the back of your mind. Always present. But not enough to dissuade your focus. After all, you have a job to do. With that, as you all spend a point of blood to awaken, I'd like you all to also roll me a d10. Except for Jordan. One more d10 from Maruna.
Very interesting roll outcomes.
Okay. With that, you all awaken for the night. What is it you all would do upon your awakening? Before you meet up for your discussion of what you plan to do for this.
Quangle does the usual. He summons the ghouls by name, and they assist him with getting dressed. He'll stick his arms out, and they put his coat on him, and cashmere socks, followed by the loafers. And then he would straighten himself out and seize the night.
All right then. Anyone else wish to draw the spotlight?
Maruna will do her morning/nightly draw for cards.
All right then. Why don't you actually draw us some cards if you have your cards at home?
Yes, I can do that. Got the Queen of Swords,
Queen of Swords.
the Empress, and the Moon. The Moon again.
Funny that.
Yep. Interesting.
Okay. As you once again see the visions of the bright moon above, peeking through the clouds. Yet you see as the clouds seem to continue to grow, as if they are trying to overtake the moon. Or is it the moon that is trying to overtake the clouds? It's hard to tell. Something about this. It feels strange. Odd. Almost as if it's all just a matter of perspective. And there is wisdom to that. Perspective. You need but only open yourself up to it. But be warned, some wisdom was never meant to be gleaned by man. With that, does anyone else have anything they would like to do with the spotlight this evening?
Hasib would in particular be doing two things. He wakes up quite early, being high humanity, and he jumps right onto the computer so that he can check out Shrek. He has an account, and he is going to be searching for forums, perhaps talking about anything doing with the ruination of the clans. Are people losing their abilities, or are people manifesting new abilities, like end times talk, that kind of stuff? Does he find anything like that?
Make a wits technology.
Wits technology.
This would be standard diff for you. It would be diff 8,
Okay.
but you have the merit up.
The computer aptitude. Oh yeah, his wits is amazing. Let's see. Hey. Three successes.
3 successes. As you are looking into it, you find yourself on a forum. on the Shreknet that is simply called "Is the End Near?" And it's a lot of individuals talking about potential signs of the apocalypse. Many of them referring it to different names, some calling it Gehenna, a few to refer to it as Ragnarok, while others simply refer to it as the Rapture. Nonetheless, much of the information you get is a lot of questioning, and a couple, perhaps the polite term would be batshit theories. You get a lot of stuff about the return of Jesus, the second coming. There's also a bunch of other ones about the return of the old gods coming to supplant their faith once again, after their faith has been stolen by the growing Abrahamic faiths. There's also quite a few that talk about the rise in Thin Bloods and Caitiff. Those that are considered true Caitiff, who do not seem to manifest the same bounds that Clan Bloods normally do. For example, Nosferatu not being ugly, torrid, or that don't find themselves fascinated with any kind of art, and perhaps even develop disciplines that are counter to what one would normally expect from their clan. There is also talk of a group simply known as the Hunters. And there is one that is a warning to my fellow Haunts. The Hunters come. Beware.
That part catches Sasib by surprise. He isn't exactly sure what that means, but it sounds very scary, and he is easily scared. So, the second thing, and it's a quick thing that he was going to do, and it's probably as he's searching the forums. As the web pages load, back then it takes a little bit for each one to load. He's in the middle of a ritual, pouring some of his own blood over a large umbrella as he performs the ritual incantation over it. And I can send you a message, Mark. You might know what it is, but I do have to spend a blood and make a roll for it. Cults. Whatever rituals is. Intelligence and cult.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
That's absolutely a success.
All right. It does take 10 hours to cure, basically. So he gently lays it on some wrapping paper. But that is Hasib's morning.
All right. Anyone else wish to draw attention? Draw the spotlight, as it were.
Cass is he's looking into a couple of rituals, so he's probably tiptoed to the library pretty fairly early. And he is kind of looking over some rituals. And he will also send a text. I googled, we can text, but only to people on our phone that have the same phone plan as us. And he will send a text that says, "How are you?" to, well, he'll just send a text that says, "How are you?"
Right.
And I'll send you who it's to.
Good. With that, as we see Kes poring over the books, we then see another figure step in. As Dr. Quangle, you see that your library is not empty.
He's stretched out horizontally across an armchair in the corner. There are books
Quangle
everywhere.
Quangle does not make eye contact with Kess. He goes over to the clipboard with the the sign-in sheet, and he checks it. Is there a name on the sign-in sheet?
I think you know the answer.
Because Kess diagonally across multiple lines, I would assume.
Oh no, there's nothing. He
Oh,
came
there's
in and he
nothing.
just went straight to looking at books.
Mr. Price, do I come into your domain and ruin things? I leave you off to yourself, don't I?
I would like to just put forward the point that your domain is your bedroom and your lab. You don't also get the library.
My lab is my bedroom, Mr. Price. I don't go into the parlor and knock over your radio, do I?
I exist in plenty of other places other than the parlor, but
I'm going to be frank with you. If you would like to continue existing, you will respect the rules of the library. Or rather, existing as you are now.
he puts out a hand for the sheet.
Without looking, he hands him the sheet.
Diagonal across 3 lines. Back again.
He takes the sheet. This is a compromise. Continue on. And Quangle
Yep.
goes to the front desk and sits down.
At this point, who is next to step into the library?
I think Jordy will.
Right?
He wanders in, walks over to the sign-in sheet, eyes Quangle, and without removing his eyes from Quangle, signs the sheet and then drops the pen on the sheet and walks over to a seat and sits down in front of a book.
You are both in a rare mood today, I will say that.
What do you mean in a rare mood?
A rare mood. No quips from the dear Regent. And Kess, you're here. I would assume you were reading. I don't know you as the scholarly type.
You've been missing something if you don't think I'm the scholarly type.
I've never
You
seen
didn't
you
catch
read a
me
book.
a lot though, did you?
Catch what, Mr. Price?
Never mind.
I think Marina will walk in
Fascinating.
at that point. And probably like, as if on cue, just like walk over to Kess, drop a book with like little bookmark in it that's like a note, and then just walk away and pick up the book that she was studying the ritual from before.
Without looking, I think he just picks it up to see what book it is.
It's Interview with a Vampire.
Oh my god. he puts it next to it. I think there's like a half smile, which is about as much as you get from Cass, unless it's Jordy admitting that he got kicked in the chest by a Bruja primogen. And he kind of sets it next to him and kind of goes back to whatever ritual he's poring over.
Did Maruna use a sign-in sheet?
I think she probably almost would be going straight to what she was doing, but then she'd probably look up, see Dr. Quangle there, and then go towards the sign-up sheet.
He would definitely be staring at her like intently, like, okay, what are you gonna do?
Like she goes in and it's like she's about to sit down and she's like, and then she gets up, signs in, sits back down.
Thank you.
Of course. How is everyone this evening?
I'm well,
Scholar-
thank you.
Scholarly.
Good. Excellent.
Well, we should get things underway then. Does anyone have anything to report?
We're missing one.
Hasib will stumble into the. He has a bunch of notebooks and perhaps books he's signed out of the library in his hands. And as he kind of like drops one every so often, Michael is trailing behind him and perhaps picking them up or just walking over them. I don't know what Michael's doing, but Michael's always helpful.
Does Hasib sign in?
Hasib does. He'll plop whatever's in his arms onto the table before signing in, and seems like he was muttering to Michael as they came in, but he looks to everyone. Right, sorry that I am late. I was trying to get a few more books, a few more studying, and I have concerns about a couple things now, like raptures and Ragnaroks and hunters. The list is getting quite long. Sorry. I will stop.
Jody, we are ready to begin. All relevant members are present.
Any relevant reports?
Nothing new. Nothing since we last spoke.
How far up on our list of priorities is finding out what's going on with the prince?
That could inform a lot of things. I would say quite high.
Higher than the gargoyle or lower?
Higher.
You would put it higher.
Should
We said we're Ivory Tower.
have we decided?
Something
Yes.
like that.
That's right, you had stepped away.
What?
No one spoke in opposition, and there was much hesitancy from a number of people in the room about other options.
I see. What does that mean for us?
Insofar as we can, we will operate within the confines of the Camarilla.
And the traditions, indeed.
see.
I mean, I see raises his hand real quick. So the traditions are important to the Camarilla, but many things are changing in the Camarilla. As we've seen, the Assamites have been welcomed into the city quite wholeheartedly, perhaps. So, well, things are changing. perhaps other things could change as well.
That's true.
Unlikely.
Let us hope we survive to see these changes. I believe our chances of survival decrease dramatically if we allow a gargoyle to run around freely, standing on ledges and whatnot, whatever it is they do.
Oh, and he'll be able to walk under lights in 4 days?
So, among our priorities, there's finding out about the prince. There's gargoyle.
The
I think we've
Sabbat?
already- Sabbat.
Daughter
The
of
daughter,
Eve.
last daughter of Eve. That one's important.
And the seed.
Yes.
I would say that since this is our last evening prior to Elysium and the lecture at the museum, we prioritize the gargoyle for this evening.
How do we aim to find the gargoyle, aside from driving around in a vehicle and hoping for the best?
The
Some time ago. Oh, please continue. Sorry.
the blood that you found in the dungeon.
I can try again.
I can, if I have something of it, I can talk to it in its head. It's going to take me a little while to learn the ritual, but I can try.
Let's make sure that's what we're dealing with then. We don't know if it was for certain the Unbound's blood.
It
Only that it
was,
was not Tremere.
yeah, I'd be in someone's head.
Right. I should give it a try. It's possible I could identify the blood. At which you'd have the opportunity. But what are we going to talk to this Unbowed about exactly?
I have a proposition for it. We did talk about 2 birds, 1 stone.
Quango smiles.
Indeed.
Yes.
I know where Caius sleeps.
Perhaps it's best that it's unofficial Tremere business then.
Just happened to leave it lying out. And I'll take what consequences come from it.
That's not what I mean. Only that if an investigation were to rise, it would be hard to get an answer.
True.
All I see is a horrible and honestly, I'm not even sure, sanctioned experiments, ghastly by Caius, backfiring. That's all anyone needs to know.
I did try to call him here to question him about that, but that went poorly.
Jordy stands up at that point, and he's going to actually walk to the door. Think of, I believe his office is where he left the blood, if memory serves. Or was it the lab? Office, probably. I think he wanted to hold on to it. So he thinks of the office and then goes to open the door and walk through to the office to retrieve the blood and come back with it.
You do so. opening the door to the library, and it magically changes to that of your office, taking the vial of blood before stepping back into the library and closing the door. You feel a much deeper connection to the chantry. This is far easier this time. No focus, just immediate.
I think it's this one. It is. Okay. Okay. Testing the vial that hasn't been marked, the one that wasn't identified as a member of Clan Tremere, or rather was identified as not a member of Clan Tremere.
Right?
He is going to take a small taste of the blood.
Okay then. Activate your taste for blood. The one does not count, so that's 4 successes. Okay.
While Mark's reading that, I'll just make a note that this is like one of the key ways people die in LARP. This power existing.
Yep. Alright, so you taste the blood. And you can tell this gargoyle is approximately 10th generation. It is not committed diablerie. And you can tell that this is indeed a gargoyle.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we identify another? Did we identify Michael's? I guess I can't remember that far back.
No, Michael's blood was not there.
Okay.
At least as
So,
far
but
as
this
you-
could be Michael's.
This could be
theoretically.
Michael's blood. Theoretically, it's
Yeah.
possible. There was only one blood that was not yours, and it is a gargoyle. Could be either.
So he'll look at the vial and kind of study it for a minute, smack his lips together. This is gargoyle,
So,
which means it's likely one of two. He'd look over to Michael.
if not, I'm sure Michael and I will have a lovely conversation. And he'll hold out his hand for it.
He'll hand it over carefully.
I'm gonna start studying to learn. It's a 2-dot ritual, so that I can't remember how long that
That will take
takes.
you 2 hours.
Okay. And he's gonna start very furiously trying to learn commune with K-Knight.
Alright. Well, Cass is doing that for 2 hours. What the rest of you doing?
Hasib will kind of fidget as he says, I believe, and I may be wrong, but the daughter of Eve, the source of great power and of perhaps prophecy and foretelling, I think we need to make sure she is safe, and that, well, and he looks over to Maruna. What, just safe, especially if what these forums are saying. I've been reading what others are saying about the end times and in these kinds of some of these figures, some of them even biblical. Others may connect the dots, or perhaps they also have someone who can see visions and who can see these figures as well as we can. We need to make sure that if that avenue is to stay open, we need to make sure she is safe, and perhaps here in the chantry where she could be protected.
I'm in favor of that, for sure.
It's a good idea. In addition, it would be good to check in on the plans for the museum, make sure everything is as we left it, given who we encountered. Asib, can you make sure that the presentation is still on for the next day?
Of
Using
course,
the
yes.
World Wide Web.
Yes, I can use the World Wide Webs for get back to the cameras. I am concerned that the Toreador, once they discover the body of their security guard, they may be on high alert or might start looking for a perpetrator. We may be in the crossfire since we were present that night.
Reasonable. Any other ideas about what Hasib just said?
We don't need to necessarily take the seed during the lecture. We listen, reconvene over the facts, and potentially, if Jordy and I are at the Elysium at the same time, beseech the Toreador through official channels to allow us to take the seed for our own business. Or we can steal it in the night like thieves.
Kess, without looking up from the book he's reading, will just say, you could leverage the Sabbat. Say it's for the good of the Camarilla itself.
Very good, Mr. Price. It seems you do learn something in those books you pretend to read.
Again, you don't know that I was here or not.
I stand by my statement.
Kess rolls his eyes.
Simply ensuring that. Well, we're thinking about taking the seed, yes?
Yes.
We're likely not the only ones then? Safe to assume?
Definitely not the only ones. The
Then let's
Sabbat are
make
the-
sure there would be news or something if it was taken, or the event would be off. Just ensuring that the event is still on.
ensures that the
Should be
seed's still
enough.
there.
That way we don't have to pry too far.
And one thing to note, the last note anyway, that I found on the interwebs was, so I'm not terribly familiar with the term hunters. I know what hunting is, but what is a hunters?
Kindred slayers, I see.
Oh,
The term would technically be witch hunters.
well, it seems as though a few people were talking about witch hunters. They are coming in force now. There were many people who are quite enthusiastic with their postings, so this could just be overblown. However, if there is a time for kindred killers to kill kindred, it would be at the time where we are in chaos and weakened. So perhaps there is some truth to it.
Reasonable. So let's not stand out, I suppose. Any other matters?
Cass raises his hand. Again, he hasn't looked up from the book yet. It's just general raised hand. I need to feed again. I have significantly less broken bones, but I need to feed.
Oh, we could go together, Cass. I also probably should feed, as I did not the other night.
All right.
Mr. Price, when is the next time you'll be going to your contacts in Nosferatu clan?
I can go tonight if you want. I can't guarantee the father will see me.
If possible, could you inquire about the member of Clan Ravnos known as the Duke? They're looking for secrets. You can inform them of one of my many debts.
I don't know your debts.
No, you don't.
You want to write it down on a piece of paper for me?
Yes.
I'll just hand it to them. So you want to know about the Duke. We want to know generally.
Why they're here? What are they after? What they've been doing?
Anything else anyone wants to ask of the Nosferatu while I'm making a trip?
Perhaps, if they can find anything about the whereabouts of, Celine. I'm blanking on the last name, but Maruna would remember it.
Francis.
Francis. Selena Francis.
We could probably figure that out without them.
All right.
And I don't know if you want to pay what they're going to ask to find her.
I don't know. It depends on what they would ask.
You could come with and find out.
All right.
I need 2 hours to finish this, but then we can all go if people would like to meet the Nosferatu.
Bitegeist is there, right?
Yes, I do occasionally speak with Bitegeist, which is why I tell you, you shouldn't.
I definitely want to go then. I want to see my friend Bitegeist.
I had a thought. If we were to find... Let's say the prince is not dead, but is... If he's in some sort of trouble, we could leverage a favor that could return us to some position of respect in the city again. But the trick is, we need to know where the hell he is.
There's... Okay. If you give me 2 more hours, I may be able to help. I need 2 more hours and a bird.
A bird?
A bird. We're not going to talk about what happens to the bird.
Why are we not talking about what happens to a bird?
You and Maruna are not allowed to know the intricacies of this particular ritual. I will handle it. But Jordy, I need 2 hours to work on talking to the gargoyle. I need another 2
understand.
hours and someone to catch bird.
I can find one.
Not a pigeon.
Is there any other specification as to what type of bird?
No, just a bird. I just don't want it to be a pigeon.
Don't like pigeons?
I can't. I need a bird that's not a pigeon. And
Okay. I won't ask any more questions.
4 hours of my night. And to feed, and I need to go to the Nosferatu. So I'm going to do this for 2 hours to at least try and figure out the gargoyle issue. In 2 hours, meet at the door. We are feeding, and then we are going to the Nosferatu. If you're coming to the Nosferatu, you are coming to feed.
Great.
Sound good to everybody?
Perfect. Who wants to help me find a bird? Can't go alone.
I can go. I have to stop by the ghouls' kitchen to let them know so it's ready by the time we go feed, and then I can be out. But yes, I can help.
Jordy gets up and he starts to look through the books, looking for an old ritual that he remembers reading about long ago while he was studying the Path of Blood.
Yeah. Make an intelligence occult standard diff and tell me what ritual you're looking up.
Blood Mastery.
Ooh.
Two successes.
2 successes. You find the ritual you're looking for. What level is it, out of curiosity?
I am looking here.
1.
Yeah, I thought so.
1? It'll take an hour.
Jordy looks to everyone and says, "We can go about our business and we'll continue again in 2 hours' time." Dismissed. For that, he is going to go ahead and just kind of walk out on his own, heading to his office. Not checking out the book.
Quingle is following behind him with the checkout sheet.
He stops and realizes that he looks and he turns and takes it and he signs out the book.
Dear Regent, the downfall of any organization starts with the individual. You happen to be at the top.
Structure is important. Noted.
Without replying, Quingle turns around to leave.
I think Maruna will go and grab a jacket or something along those lines, and some kind of box, maybe.
Hasib doesn't have anything when he's waiting by the door, other than a notebook that he's jotting notes in. Oh, ready? I think I could use. I can catch one pretty quick. It might be hard to find one though. A non-pigeon.
I can help with that part. And I think, like, when they head out of the chantry, she's gonna look for some plants.
Alright. What plants you looking for?
She's basically just gonna look for any greenery, and try to find where there's like the most abundance of it.
And Hasib, as soon as Maruna starts to drift too far from any bright light, which might be immediately as she starts to talk to the plants, Hasib will gently, touch her arm and be like, "Wait, we can't. Remember, we stay in the lights. So maybe there are plants in the light specifically."
I'm sure there must be.
Okay.
She's going to then, when she can find one, can ask it where, if it's seen any birds where they tend to sleep or congregate.
All right. Sure. Make
that's
your
gonna
willpower roll to activate the power.
Cool. Is it just a straight willpower? 'Cause I don't-
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you spend a blood point and then just a willpower, a total willpower roll.
Okay.
Based on the difficulty of the power, it's 3 plus whatever level power you're activating.
Okay. So that's just 1 to level 1 power. So it's just the difficulty's 4.
Yep.
Okay. Blood point and
Watches
4.
alive.
Okay. Oh wait, I have this. It's a free. It says it's free cost.
Oh yeah, so this one doesn't cost blood then. You just make the roll.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is intelligence physical. So, by mistake.
Okay.
Ability is
I knew there was something
Yeah.
different.
Botchers are still live.
Yeah. Cool.
I want to get a bunch of weeds that are arguing because they're all fighting over a little stretch of dirt.
All right, 2 successes. As you focus in on your connection to the natural world, you feel it respond, notifying you that they noticed that there were some ravens nearby, perched up on a tree.
Question. Does well, first I will point to them, point out to Hasib where they are. And does presence work on
Animals? No.
Okay.
Animalism would, not presence.
That makes that makes sense. That checks out. So then she'll turn to Hasib and say, point out where they are and say, did you have something in mind from here?
Oh yes. Yeah, I can. With my mind, catch the bird, I suppose. He scratches his head as he gets a good look at the wherever the bird's at.
No.
And
I think we also don't we both have inoffensive to animals.
I think we do.
We both have inoffensive to animals, so we are good people to be doing this.
And Hasib will he'll kind of reach out a hand. He's actually quite good at this pass, so there's not much to it for him. Especially, I think he only has to do the first dot to pick up a bird.
Yeah, not particularly heavy.
And he will use movement of the mind to pluck the bird from the tree and just sort of float it down into our little box.
All right, make the roll.
We got us a new friend. We're gonna be friends forever. Emily's definitely gonna be nice to the bird. All right, willpower and spend a blood.
5 successes. You just. And we watch as our raven suddenly is like full taut in its wings, and you hear it calling out. Upon which the other ravens immediately take off. You watch it kind of flutter and move as you're kind of slowly moving it towards you.
Seems kind of cooing a little bit. Oh, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Don't need to be afraid. We are going on a trip, a surprise trip. We have snacks. We get you snacks.
And then you just take the lid off the box, put the bird in, lid back on, and then suddenly you hear it rattling around, banging itself against the roof of the box and the sides of the boxes.
She winces a little bit. We should get back, I suppose.
Yeah.
And Maruna, are you, as we're walking back, perhaps this fox man?
Yes.
I can do something. There's something. There has to be something we can do to get you
what-
free.
What do you know something?
I not off the top of my head, but we are the clan Tremere, masters of the blood. There has to be something out there to break a bond.
I figured there would be, but I don't have any idea. I've been searching since I was allowed to leave my room in the chantry to go to the library. Cass showed me some books back then, but I just haven't been able to find anything. But you've always been better at that, researching. So maybe you'll have luck where I didn't.
I will definitely look. I think, and when my sire gets back, I can ask her. She knows a lot of things. And maybe even we don't need even a ritual. Maybe my sire knows this fox man, and she can speak with him and tell him to not do that anymore.
I highly doubt that's not really. First of all, your sire, she doesn't like me. The odds that she's going to do anything to help me are probably pretty low. Second of all, Fox is a toreador, and I think even among his own kind, fairly reclusive. I don't think he really answers to anyone.
Well, with what he did to you, he is going to answer to someone. I'm going to make sure of it.
I really appreciate that. I don't know if justice is something that exists in this world, the world after dark. But I've been trying to find it since I was dragged here. And it's nice to have someone else around who at least believes in trying to find it.
Hasib smiles. It is around. This justice. It may be hard to find. It might be maybe hidden, a little hidden, but we are good finders, I think. So it's just a matter of time.
Good finders indeed.
And
Speaking of
Hasib,
which-
yeah, well, like, or whoever has the box, like, good finders. And yeah, we head back to the chantry.
All right. Turn to the chantry. Submit your box of raven.
Yeah, I think quickly, Maruna is gonna just say to Cass if she can get us like out of earshot of Hasib. Just gonna say, just make sure you respect it. Whatever you do.
I'm going to try.
If there's anything left, save it so maybe we can give it a burial.
There should be something left.
Okay.
Okay.
She'll leave. And go back with Hasib.
All right. With that, time passes and rituals are learned.
Cass will kind of wait for everyone at the door.
Jordy's on time. He has the book in his hand. Bring it back to the library.
Jordy, do you want me to do this now? Or do you want to... Well, I would like to feed before I do this, but if you would prefer we talk to the gargoyle now, I can do it.
What's the risk of talking to it?
That's true. All right. Well, should I wait for everyone, or do you want me just to go for it?
You can prepare what you need to. I'm sure everyone will be here soon. If they're not here in the 5 minutes, from now, we can resume.
All right. Also, I don't know if we have the equivalent of a bathroom near here. If not, wherever there's a closet, you hear a very angry crow. If they've given me the crow.
They would have.
Where are you doing? Does Hasib overhear it? Maybe we say Hasib does not overhear it. He's back on his computer looking through the cameras at the museum or something.
Yeah. Cass doesn't need it yet, so it's somewhere. It's shut in a room somewhere. So Cass will start setting up for the ritual, and then wait 5 minutes to see who comes into the room in 5 minutes.
Quangle will show up at the ritual.
All right. Here goes nothing, I guess. If something goes wrong, you know, well, we'll find out. And I am going to cast Commune with K-Knight and use the blood of the gargoyle as focus.
All right. Make the intelligence occult roll. Activate the power.
I don't have wound. Well, I have a wound, but not enough to cause a penalty now.
There you go.
Look at that. I only got one, so I'm just a little bruised. What is the difficulty?
We'll say the difficulty is 7. There are no botches for this, as you succeeded your blood power roll.
Five successes.
5 successes. With that, you draw a connection between you and the originator of this blood. What would you like to say?
Well, it's a telepathic link for however long I keep it going, so he's just going to start with hello.
Silent for a few before thoughts return into your head. Who are you, intruder, into my mind?
Am I speaking to the unbowed?
You speak to one who has gained back a name. One who will
That's
be slave
fair.
no more to your...
We don't want you to be. What's your name, if I may ask?
I have told you. Goddess.
Connus, we aren't the ones that hurt you, but I have an understanding that I might know who did. It wasn't fair how you were made. And instead of us hurting each other over and over again, I'd like to propose that I try and help you find the one who did this to you.
Why
And to Michael.
should I trust the clan of lies?
You're not trusting a clan, you're trusting me.
I am no
And I-
fool. You would not betray one of your own.
I would betray him. Because I think we were both hurt by the same man. And I don't think I would be very upset if you made that man go away.
Make a charisma and
Oh no.
empathy. This will be difficulty 8 because he does not trust you.
Are we allowed to spend blood points in the chat? Or are we off? Wait, we can't.
No. No.
Ah.
No.
Oh no.
Don't
Okay.
spend blood points to activate dice. Oh! We have an extra dice added to the pool.
Hey!
Yes. I don't know how to put that in.
Modifier.
A modifier.
Okay, I started it over so I could do it. It's charisma, empathy. Modifier 1.
Yep. No botches, there's no magic aspect to
That's
this.
difficulty 8, and I'm gonna
Yup.
spend a willpower because if there was ever a time, this feels like a good one. All
Heart
right,
of the cards. Heart of the cards.
heart of the cards. Oh, I didn't. Oh God, there's so many tabs. Heart of the cards. 3 successes
3 successes. Okay.
and no failures. I would like to point out of the
No
4
failures.
dice that I had.
Right then. There is quiet on the other side for quite some time before he says, "What do you know of the torturer?"
That he made me a monster just like you. And I know where he sleeps. He has power over me, or else I'd help you. But he can hurt me from where he is now, when I'm very far away from him.
What do you propose?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I can tell you where he is. You can have the vengeance that you want. I just would like you to leave the rest of us be.
I am no fool. The torturer is powerful. He is tricky. I am not so foolish as to think I can take him on my own unprepared.
You want us to fight alongside you?
How can I trust that you truly wish to see one of your own gone? How do I know this is not a trap? So that I will be trapped once more.
Can I? Because this is a link telepathically between the two of us. In theory, can I shove a whole bunch of memories at him?
You can. Theoretically.
He'll shove all of the darkest, worst parts of his time with Caius.
Okay. You hear a snarl on the other side of the connection. Stop. Stop. Enough. I would like to see him gone. But know that I will not trust your blood no more. If you wish aid in the destruction of the torturer, I will not refuse a chance at revenge.
Can we call between us then a truce? We will not hunt you. I will do my best to let you get away. My clanmates don't even need to know that. Because you're me. You and Michael.
Mike. The other.
Yes.
I will aid. And I will refrain from the hunt against yours until the torturer is dead. But if you betray me, you will wish I had killed you on our first encounter.
Do you mean you will hunt us as soon as he is dead? Or will you be free and go and live as you are?
So long as your blood does not give me a reason to hunt you no longer, you will be spared of my wrath.
I will do my best to help you and him, and I will do my best to make sure you don't get caught. Just don't get caught in the meantime. Sorry about the light thing. I was just trying to survive.
He snarls.
It'll stop in a few days.
But there is no more response.
He'll cut it. He'll cut the connection and then presumably come back into the room where he's been staring off into space.
Well, Mr. Price, how did it go?
We don't have to worry about the gargoyle for a while.
Sensational.
He wants Caius dead more than he wants us dead. It took a little convincing. But, we don't have to be worried about being murdered from the rooftops.
How do you feel about this?
I feel pretty good that I'm going to live. Maybe a night longer.
That's good. You know, 2 or 3 nights ago, you would not have answered that question. You would have told me, and I quote you, fuck off. The road to healing
Well,
is a
to be
long
fair,
way.
I was thinking fuck off, so.
Yes. You're on the path to healing. Yes.
He's going to look at Jordy with a face of like, help. Like, make it stop.
Is everyone back in the room now? I can't remember.
By this point, everyone would be.
Right, because the ritual went off with the bird, technically. Okay. What do you
This
have
was
to
not the
report,
bird
Mr.
ritual,
Price?
Just FYI, this was not the bird ritual. The bird is just in a random room. Yeah, this is not the bird instant. It wants him dead. It wants him worse than dead. If I betray it, it will make me wish I was dead. And it'll refrain from hunting us until he is dead, and afterwards, and as long as we don't give him a reason to want us dead. So don't betray the gargoyle, please. I'd rather like living.
There may come
And
a
he
time where
won't-
we don't have an option, but for now, a peace is in order.
He also won't fight it alone. Fight Caius alone.
So all of us then.
So you have a choice. How bad do you all want Caius dead?
You won't be free until he is.
I would remind everyone that we need 7 people for the ritual. 7 members.
Philomena.
Alright, that's 6.
The quartermaster.
Alright, 7. I am in agreement.
Also, Philomena would probably have left the city by this point.
Oh yeah, she's in Vienna. What? Cass is
Yeah.
full knows she's not there.
Yeah.
6 then.
You need one more?
We could always. Well, no, I won't recommend that. That won't do at all.
Surely there are other of our clan who have survived the shattering.
I know we talked and have supposedly made a decision. However, I believe there are those of our blood with the Anarch. Isn't that right?
With its monstrous Sabat. I saw them on the cameras.
I will also note, you can always create more.
Do we have any candidates for membership?
We don't have the right to progeny with the prince missing.
Yes. But they should be available during the Elysium, one would assume. And what generation are you, Hasib?
Steve takes a second to think because I totally am not looking it up right now. I am of the eighth generation. At least that is what my sire said.
We do have options, Regent. If only there was someone around in town who had knowledge of the seed, where it came from. Intimate
Prince is
knowledge.
missing, which means we don't have access to the right of progeny, which means whoever were to bring a new Tremere in would be on penalty of death if it was ever exposed.
I am not recommending that we do this behind the prince's back. I am merely recommending that once the prince is found, we bring someone in.
So are we raising the priority on the prince then?
Priority is always rather high.
I'm doing another one tonight for that.
The daughter of Eve is out there. I could do some searches for her. I mean, and what's better? I mean, once we talk to the daughter of Eve, maybe she could be a candidate. I don't know. I don't know what she wants.
Wangle taps his chin and says, "There is a lecturer at the museum who could potentially be a candidate."
Oh, a lecturer.
I would like to go feed if you all want to continue this conversation.
Oh yes,
I'm
you did
going
very
to.
good.
I'm going to go talk to the Nosferatu afterwards, so I am going to go grab the car.
I'm coming.
If you want, we could go to where I usually go, the libraries, the college libraries on the campuses. I may have made my own student ID or several, and so I can get in. There are a lot of late night studiers in the libraries, and I have to go to the kitchen real quick and pick up some things. Oh, and this is for the bird. And Hasib puts a can of Planters mixed nuts on the table. I did promise the raven a few treats for its trouble, so I hope it enjoys.
I hate you. I hate you. I'm in physical pain. Kaz just doesn't look at Hasib and scoots the nuts towards him. Just puts them in his bag. How do you convince them to let you
Oh, well, first, you can talk to them. I usually see what they're studying, and I spark conversation. If you don't want to do that, you can use obfuscate. The library is very quiet, and people don't like to be bothered, so usually they're alone. I usually leave muffins as well. That's what's cooking. I had Jeffrey, one of our ghouls. He's very good baker. So I usually leave one of those because they can be quite tired after you feed.
Um,
And Nasib just nods like this is completely normal and how everyone feeds.
Maruna kind of nods, like, yeah, I like that.
sure. Why not, I guess. Jordy, Dr. Quangle, are you coming?
I'll pass. Thank you.
I will remain here. You have the note.
I do. Jordy, do you want anything with the Nosferatu?
Other than knowing where the prince is, or perhaps what the Assamites have been invited in for.
Do you have something to give them in return?
Not at this time, no.
If I think of something you can owe me, that'll at least be kinder on you than than you owing any of them.
Wait, so that was an option.
Kes takes out the note from his pocket and just like wiggles it in the air. Too late now. And he'll start walking towards the car or wherever the garage is.
You've taught that one well, Jody.
The former regent.
And that makes sense now. Dots are connected.
Alright then. So, who's going out to feed and who's doing other things?
Sounded like Cass, Maruna, and Hasib.
And
The chaos crew is back.
the chaos crew with a bin of muffins. Yes, fresh muffins.
Yeah. Alright then. In the meantime, what is Dr. Quankle and Geordie up to?
I think Quangle would. Let's say this block of time could be Quangle studying potentially new abilities or disciplines.
And for Geordie?
He's going to wait a bit, and when he sees Quangle sort of exit the area, he's going to make his way back downstairs.
Alright. What do you do while you are downstairs?
He's going to try to speak with the with the chantry, or whatever entity this is.
We see you standing in that stone room. The orb in front of you, like a sheer crystal stone, just sits.
When he goes into the basement too, he loops it to the front door, so that it's kind of effectively like the equivalent of locking it or making it hard to find.
Yeah.
For a short time. What is this? And who are you?
get quietness for a while before you feel that connection reinstate itself. It returns your question to you. What is this? Who are you?
I'm the regent.
You are the regent.
You aren't just magic, are you?
Just magic. Art.
Do you have a name?
Name. Name. It returns to silence once more, but the connection is still there.
You asked for a sacrifice. Who would the sacrifice be to?
Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Name. Power. Who are you?
I don't understand these riddles.
Riddles. Riddles. Power. Sacrifice. Regent.
You are connected to my sire, the previous regent. Yes?
Yes.
Then you can tell when he left your presence, and perhaps where he went.
Left my presence. Power. Destruction. The whole room reverberates with these words before it returns back to the quiet.
There's a second where he looks at the door a minute. Tries to compose himself. Can you tell me where he went? Where he was returning from when he died?
Reach out. Reach for power. The orb begins to pulsate with energy.
He'd contemplate this for a second, but I think even more than like a desire to be strong, which he clearly is noticing the return of his blood potency. He wants to know more. There's too many questions and not enough answers. It's the control really over the situation. That's the power he wants. And with that, I think without giving it a second thought, he would reach out again.
As you reach out, place your hand against the orb. I need you to make a willpower roll difficulty 9.
Two successes.
2 successes. You feel it pulling on your energy, zapping forth your strength of will, the power itself. As you succeeded, you get to decide whether it gets a point of willpower from you.
Is this Jordy deciding whether it gets
Yes.
a point of willpower?
You get to decide whether it takes a point of willpower from you.
Yes. If it gives him answers, then yes.
You allow it to take from you this point of willpower, and you find yourself focusing in on a figure. You see the face of a woman, a flower in her hair that seems to move with life, as if despite being plucked from its our home, it seems to still be alive. You see she has long hair, beautiful face, and something within you knows that she is powerful and important. This is Melinda of Wessex, one of the 7 founders of the House of Tremere. You see her among a large gathering of powerful Tremere as they speak. But their words are muffled, as if you're listening through a rainstorm. You then watch as she suddenly throws her hand up to stop and looks around, before hurriedly saying some words to those who are gathered and turning around. As she does, you watch as she quickly runs down a hallway, grabs a piece of paper and begins to write a note, before she turns around and passes it off to someone. And as the note exchanges hands, you see your sire, who takes this note and immediately runs towards one of the many magical mirrors that are used as teleportations between locations. You watch as it begins to glow, as you see yourself and the others gathered on the other side. It then cuts to black as it pulls back to reveal the city of Dallas, Texas. With that, you feel it once again pull on your willpower. Do you allow it to take another drop?
These are permanent, yes?
No, this is pulling from your temporary willpower, not permanent.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like, okay. Yeah, then absolutely. Yeah.
Alright. It takes
It's
another
too close to
point
the
of your
mystery
willpower.
now.
Yeah. It begins to dive back. You feel yourself almost being pulled through the annals of history. This strange perception that is inhuman. As if whatever it is you're encountering perceives time in a completely different scale, in a completely different dimension. You see 7 figures standing in a small, dark room. The moon shines above them as they have a figure that is nailed to the ground. Large silver spikes pinned through this creature's hands. It looks almost human, if it weren't for the strange designs and twisted figure. You see them stand over this creature and begin chanting words, focusing their power before you see what looks to be a small seed is brought forth. Watch as the seed is taken by one of these hooded figures and placed onto the chest of the creature. You then watch in a macabre horror as the seed digs into the person's body, sprouting out little tendrils that rip into the flesh as the figure screams and shouts as it begins to dig deep. You then watch as twisting vines begin to grow out of the body of the creature, tearing out of its flesh as it begins to form into this strange, thorny bush. And from the top of it, a flower begins to grow. A deep, red flower. You watch as one of the figures steps forward, takes the flower in his hand, and turns to ash. With that, you feel it request another willpower. This time, it is asking you for a permanent dot. You will permanently lower your willpower if you allow it to take from this point forward.
I think so. I think he's too caught up in this now. I don't think he'd be realizing the weakness that he's doing here.
You watch as the scene continues. The figure on the ground opens its eyes as the pieces of the bush begin to fade inward, rotting away. You watch as the figure's shape begin to twist and turn, shaping into that of a handsome figure with long hair. You watch as the figure stands, taking the flower that begins to disconnect from the rest of the crumbling bush. It holds it in its hand with a smile and holds it up as you watch the energy flow from his chest into it and then outwards towards the other individuals. You then watch as they all begin, or you watch as red liquid begins to seep down from the hoods as they begin to bleed from every orifice, as blood begins to pool downwards into the ground and towards the center figure. The center figure then turns to look at you. And in your heart, you know who this is. This is Tremere. And this was where it all started. You then find yourself focusing on the flower as it almost pulses with power, almost like it was a heartbeat. You then watch as the world begins to fade around you. You find yourself face to face with yourself. Sacrifice. Power.
Right. You've said that.
He reaches his hand forward as he says, I can help, but I require sacrifice for power.
He nods. Will it be enough for the chantry and the Tremere inside it
the time being. Nothing is eternal. Not even the immortal. I can offer you temporary power. But I can do far more if the ritual is completed. Let me be your help. Let me be your pillar. And together we will build a pyramid that will never crumble.
Can I roll something?
Sure, what do you want to roll?
Hmm.
Or rather, what would you want to achieve from this?
I think he's highly tempted. I mean, this would restore order,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I recall, the other Geordie, as it were, had their hand extended like I was to potentially reach out, right?
Yeah.
Once more.
Mm-hmm.
I want to roll something to see if he would cave in on the temptation.
How about conscience or self-control?
This might be a conscience thing, which he's not very
Okay.
good at, and that's kind of why that would make sense. Because it's like, as much as he is trying to do something, I think that that by any means necessary makes it conscience, right?
Okay.
A sacrifice.
I'm going to say conscience. I'm going to call it difficulty 6.
It's up to you. I'll let you decide there. What do you think?
We'll do difficulty 6. A 50-50 shot. A little bit more than 50-50, but... Two tens. I think there's a part of you that hears this. But there's another part deep down that thinks, what is the consequence of making this deal? Of this sacrifice? There's too many variables that are unanswered, and this thing is unhelpful. You get the feeling it's trying to manipulate. The power itself is it's real, but there's something more to it.
I think he goes to extend his hand, and like just as he's about to reach out, he kind of tightens his fist and pulls it back, withdraws. I need to know more about what you are first.
No more. It has a question. Or it asks as a question, rather.
You've shown me things. Maybe they're true. Maybe they happened. You have your own agenda, don't you?
Agenda, once again, raises a question.
Right. That he'll just kind of uncharacteristically smirk for a second. And I think he'll step away or try to withdraw.
I think with that, we watch as you pull your hand away from the orb, back to reality.
Okay. I think I'll spend a second looking at it before he sort of straightens up and heads back out.
Well, as we watch Jordy leave, we focus on the orb for a moment. We then watch as it pulsates. and then returns to stillness. With that, we cut over to the Chaos Crew as they begin their hunting adventure.
Hopefully, this one's a slightly more tame. A college campus library, a weeknight, probably just has a bunch of people studying for the Friday exams or whatever. And Hasib, he frequents these places. This is where he goes to feed when he needs to. So I'm not. He would advise the others to do what he does, but I mean it's up to them as long as they don't cause trouble. Hasib does a mixture, so he just takes a little bit of blood from multiple people. So he'll usually try to take one blood point. Either if he wants to have conversation with someone seems friendly, he'll talk to them and eventually, perhaps pointing out, leaning over the table to point out, oh, this equation, I didn't even know how you could get that. And then perhaps going into feeding, or if they look real tired or grumpy, obfuscate and just, quiet library, sneak up.
Alright then. I think in that case, why don't you guys make me some hunting rolls? I think in this case we're looking at I think for Hasib we're probably looking at charisma and empathy, I think. You guys can also suggest your own roles if you want to do hunting.
I'd probably do a similar to my other approach, just slightly tailored for more of a college campus environment. So I guess empathy and charisma probably makes sense.
Yeah,
Right.
that works.
Yeah, Kessa's is remarkably the same. Find someone on the outskirts, flirt a bit, as one does. But
Alright.
Kess does a lot of flirting.
Cass does do a lot of flirting.
That's true. In that case, probably manipulation and yeah, expression or empathy.
And what's the difficulty? 6?
Standard difficulty 6. Cool. No ones, as you guys are not using supernatural powers. Ooh. Maruna, you are able to get yourself quite a few vessels tonight.
Great.
How much blood would you plan to take?
I would not take more than 2 blood points from any single person. So
Okay.
I guess divide that among the number of people
We'll
that
say
I'd be able to get.
6 blood points.
Cool. We'll take that.
And for Kess, you are able to get 1 individual. How much blood do you take?
How much can they still not need medical attention? 3?
3 or 4?
So like 3 they can get back to where they need to go, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna take 3. Because I
Okay,
feel
3
like
points of
4
blood.
they're gonna have trouble getting back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking 3.
Alright, and Hasib, you managed to find 2 vessels. How much blood do you take from them?
I think he'll do with just 2. He'll do 2 points each and leave them each a nice muffin.
Realizing I didn't have enough to take a full 6. Could I hypothetically
Share it
Give
with someone else?
to Cass? Because
Sure, I'll allow
Cass
it.
needs. healing. Sweet. So I
Yay.
have two extra that you can take.
Yay! Thank
A
you.
little, a
Yep.
little,
Here,
little
flirt with
shared
this
party.
one, Cass. It's fine. Here.
All right then. Is with this, how about one of you roll me a d10, tell me high or low.
Someone say high or low, and I'll roll it.
Low. Let's capitalize on our bad luck. Oh.
I don't. Well,
Lower.
do I
Pretty
roll it?
neutral.
It's in the middle.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So, Cass, as you are going around hunting, you actually hear a voice from behind you. Someone goes, "Cass, is that you?"
No. I don't. Who do I recognize it as?
Turn around to recognize a woman who you have met before, or rather, who you have had a relationship before.
Uh-huh.
This is Anna.
I'm trying. So, Mark, out of character. Is that one that was in my backstory list? I thought it was a different name.
Was it a different name?
I
thought
think it was a different name.
What
I
was
think
the
it was
name you
slightly
had?
different. If it's the one I'm thinking of,
Hold on.
it starts with an A, but not Anna. That's why I got confused. I was like, Mark, I need more detail. This isn't the one I'm thinking of.
This is your old flame.
Okay. So this was.
Is it like Anne or something?
Is it Abby?
Abby?
Might be Abby.
It was the only one I specified in my backstory. So
And you were flirting with other people with Abby nearby? Horrible.
I've had a relationship. Past
Can you
tense.
send me the link to your backstory where that's mentioned? Thank you.
I have my sticky note pulled up, so give me a minute. It's gonna take a second.
Welcome to the fun part of DMing, viewers, where you forget the notes that your players have made.
Okay. I'm just gonna copy and paste it to you.
Okay.
Yes, no, maybe so. That one or not that one?
Different one.
Different one. Oh
This is
God.
a different one.
Oh no. Okay,
Someone
what do
you
I
knew
remember?
around that time. This is someone you remember spending time with probably after your relationship with Abby.
Okay.
Specifically, the main things you remember is that she was like one of your fans online who you ended up
Yep.
actually meeting with.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the relationship was chaotic.
Yay.
She's definitely she was the kind of person who was always your biggest fan, and sometimes to your detriment.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was kind of
I'm loving my
stalker-esque.
backstory right now.
Yeah.
I knew you were waiting around a corner with things. He'll kind of do the like, oh hi, and he'll like do the like, polite hug of like, we were at one point seeing each other. We have to like be cordial.
Yeah. Pulls you into a hug and goes, So good to see you. It's been so long.
It has. How have you been?
I've been doing well, actually. You know, I
Okay.
was kind of worried when I didn't hear from you a while, because I heard you disappeared or something. But glad to see you're
I
still
do
around.
that periodically. It's not the weirdest thing I've done.
At this point, Maruna, you see Kesh talking with a woman.
I'll kind of just casually, because I'm curious about this, just go over and say, "Oh, hello."
No.
Oh, hi! And I don't see
Hi.
Maruna.
Oh, seems like we got a mutual friend.
I'd say so.
Anna,
Cool.
this is Rooney. Rooney, this is Anna.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to meet
you.
you, Rudy.
So, anything interesting to read?
I've been reading actually a very interesting one, actually. Do you want to take a look at it?
I would love that.
He hands over a book.
What is
It
it?
is called The Maiden and the Matron.
How interesting. I would like to, I'm wondering if this is, there's no such thing as coincidences. All right, oh, this looks fascinating.
Kess leans over, because he's tall enough, he leans over Maruna to look.
Yeah, she'll flip it open.
As you open it up, there is a small note inside.
Take the note.
The note simply says, an invitation for you and one other.
Anna, where did you find this?
Oh, it was given to me by a friend of mine. Actually,
Which
I think
friend?
a mutual friend of ours.
Oh.
So what are you waiting for?
Um,
Come on, let's go.
Can I, do... What's the thing? Aura sense, I think. Or perception. Yeah.
Sure. Make your roll.
Kess just puts a hand on Maruna's shoulder. I remember how invitations went the last time with Maruna. And this one sounds somehow worse than the last one. I don't know if that's possible, but
I just want to get a sense of her, if she's like, I guess my main thing is I'm trying to figure out if she's kindred or anything near that, because I'd love to figure out whether she knows what she's doing here, or if someone has just like
Sure.
given her a part to play that she's going along with, you know?
Perception, empathy. Difficulty 8. Pardon me.
I'm gonna use a willpower, I think. If I click willpower used, it does it automatically add that?
Yes, it'll automatically add it.
Cool, cool.
Hold on, I need double check something. You rolled a 5 on your blood roll at the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Yes, so the botch does count.
Okay.
That is 3
Still 3.
successes. Okay. You can see her aura is pale, denoting one of the undead. You can also see that her color of her aura is surprisingly bright at the same time. Bright in color, not in shade. You can see it seems to be an emotion of excitement. And probably a tiny bit of obsession.
I kind of look. Can I tell if that obsession's directed at Kess?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I
Yeah.
think with your aura perception and your ability to see, yeah.
See, she'll clock that. She'll nod. Oh, that's this is from you then?
Well, it's from our mutual friend. So,
Which mutual friend?
oh, just someone who's, been very helpful to me. She's like my,
Mother.
yeah, like a mother. So come on, what are we waiting for? And the night's still young.
Maruna's gonna kind of look at Kess because to her it feels like it's information worth pursuing, but she also knows that Kess is how Kess probably feels about this, but also this is his ex-girlfriend, some girl that's clearly obsessed with him. So she's like kind of a what do you think look like, but it's
Slight head shake. Slight,
well, we do actually have there are actually 3 of us here. It's the only thing we wouldn't want to leave our friend behind.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
He won't believe me. Can I see that she's not breathing, or is she breathing?
Make a perception medicine. Difficulty 8.
He's a little preoccupied with the internal panic.
Yeah, so that doesn't help.
Certainly not helping. Yep, nothing. Got 1 success and 1 botch.
Yeah, no, you can't tell. You're too focused on other things.
No, there's so many things happening, and none of them make sense. And
I think she is though going to kind of just kind of like bump Cass on the shoulder. I mean, I guess it's up to you. Do you think do we have time to stop by a party, or did we have to go do that thing?
not without our friend, and we do have an extensive list of things that need to get done tonight.
Did I hear party? Yeah, Hasib
Hasib
rounds
comes
one
around
of
the
the
corner.
with a few muffins and a bin still. What, is there a
You watch
party in
him-
the library?
Immediately, her face changes. Becomes far more of a neutral expression. And Maruna, you can see in her aura annoyance.
Towards. Can I see that it's who it's towards? If it's towards Hasib, if it's towards me, or towards the situation, or I can't really tell.
It's hard to tell. This becomes a lot more difficult because she now has her guard up.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure if we've met. And he reaches out his hand. Hasib, he's blush of life. He can do it without spending blood because of his humanity. So he does it when he hunts. I am Hasib Kavisna. Good to meet you.
Anastasia.
Ah, wonderful. Do you want a muffin? I have a few left before we leave. And
No, I'm
Hasib
good.
will. Oh, okay. So I
Just-
heard a party.
Just a minute. Anna, can I have a word?
Sure.
He takes her essentially like he does the like grab her by the elbow and starts
Yeah.
like walking.
If I can lean over while she's distracted with Hasib, to just whisper to Kess, she's kindred.
Yeah, and Kess will pull her somewhere with less people. What the hell are you doing?
Cass. I found out you were gone. I don't know. I didn't know what to do. But then I started looking into it, and I found these people, and they can help us. They have this great way of seeing things. This revelation almost. I want you to see it with me. Please. Just see it. You don't have to stay. Just have a look. This place really helped me.
I'm going to need you to be substantially more specific. Because I'm not going anywhere with you unless you are very specific. What did you do? And why are you here trying to lure my friends with you?
I'm just doing what I was asked.
Who asked you?
The maiden.
Who do you belong to? Who made you? Who embraced you?
Only belong to myself. I don't remember her name, but the one that made me like this, she's part of the same group. She taught me what it's like to be like this. Like us.
Like you.
Please, Kess. Just this one time, and I won't ask anything else of you again. Please. I really want you to
Will
see
this-
this.
Where is this?
It's not far. It's during a bit of the subway that's been decommissioned.
Who all is going to be there?
Just some members of the group. A matron's gonna be there. I think a few others are gonna be there. But I think it could be a real like healing moment for you. Please, they helped me so much, and I just wanted to be able to share that with you because I care about you. Always have.
Is anyone going to get hurt or killed during this? Kind, kindred, anyone?
Of course not.
Wait here.
Okay.
And Cass is going to go back to Hasib and Maruna. Maruna, does the matron mean anything to you, or the maiden?
Yes.
The maiden made her. The matron's who's running whatever that is. She said no one would get hurt. I will go with you, but the minute I say go, we leave.
I
It's in the
understand.
sewers anyway. That's where we would find the Nosferatu in any case.
Headed in that direction then.
Hasib?
I knew she was different when she didn't take a muffin. We, if it's on the way to the Nosferatu, then if you think it could help, you think this could help? One of our objectives?
I don't know what this means. I know that I know that I'm deeply uncomfortable with this entire situation.
I've been getting a lot of messages from the moon related to the moon. So
Okay.
and the matron and the maiden that's all related. So I think that this really we might be on the right track with something like this.
We're doing this. We're talking to the Nosferatu and we're going straight home because I have never wanted to drink so badly and not been able to drink. I need tonight to be done. All right.
Do you need anything by the she's gonna just lean in. I could feel that girl is
We saw each other briefly before I was this, and then I was this and disappeared, and now she's that, and
it's not your
she
fault.
did that following me. So let's get this over with quickly.
Okay.
And when I say go, we go.
I understand.
And everybody, thank God Jordy's not here because he'd kill all of us. Let's go.
It is not the choices that she
And
made.
I'm not in a mood. I appreciate the sentiment.
Okay.
But right now I have to look her in the face for the next bit of time, so we'll try that tomorrow.
Okay.
To the sewer party with Hasib.
Hasib has so many questions, but for once he does not ask them because clearly he has been out of the loop of whatever just happened. Instead, he jots down notes into a notepad.
Alright then. With that, do you return it to Anastasia?
Yeah, we're bringing Hasib though, so she's gonna be thrilled.
Marina she will put on more of her excitement and just say, all right, we're going.
She looks to Hasib, and then to you.
Is it okay if he tags along with us?
Yeah, he comes or we don't.
I have a few more muffins.
Sure, you can come along. And that she turns around and gestures for you to follow as she begins to make her way out of the campus.
Yep.
Follow her down the street until eventually you arrive at what looks to be an abandoned metro station. Or at least it would be abandoned if there wasn't a lot of flashing colors, lights, and glow sticks being thrown around as you find yourself stepping into an underground rave.
Perfect.
We said we're gonna feed and get information, and we went to a rave. Oh my god.
Who watches
we
you
get-
step in? Oh, go ahead.
Do we get handed glow sticks? Are they handing them out? Are we allowed to join the rave, or are we just moving through it?
You're just moving forward at the moment.
Okay. For now.
I'm
Yeah.
just picturing right now Hasib reaching out for a glow stick and Kes just like batting his hand.
Yep.
Yeah,
That definitely happens. Yeah.
definitely. Before eventually you guys make your way to the back where you see there looks to be this ramshackle elevator that opens as she presses a button and she gestures for you to step in. She steps in as well.
How big is the elevator?
Like a decent size. Enough that you could fit maybe like probably big enough that wouldn't come into effect.
Okay. Cool. Alright,
Wait, what?
Hmm.
Don't worry about
get
it.
in.
Have a
Don't
feeling.
worry about it.
Of theory.
Mark's making me check everything I've ever written about this character.
Yeah. With that, the elevator begins to sink into the ground as we see these three disappear from sight. It is with that we cut away to a different scene as we see three individuals, all of them in hoods, or rather in actually no, one of them is in a hood. The other two look to be wearing sunglasses at night. And they begin to arrive at what looks to be a scene. Specifically, we see a junkyard where we see a familiar vehicle that is currently sitting there. The roof torn up and destroyed, the windows smashed in, as we watch as these three individuals walk up to it. One of them walks over and says, "Ooh, this looks like this has been through the ringer. Sure this is the one we're looking for?" The other one speaks. "Positive. This is it." The third one then speaks up. "And this is what we will use to find them." Places his hand on the hood of the car. Closes his eyes as we see a focus overcome him. Or eventually he says, "They were here. 2 of them. This is it. This is our chance. We're closing in, and it won't be long before we track them down. Brothers, we will have our justice." As we see the one wearing the hood pulls it back to reveal a third eye that sits on their forehead. It is with that we end the session for today.
We've got Salubriate.
It's
Come on, man. We got rid
needed
of
more.
one thing and then we added the Salubri and Hunters to replace the one other threat.
Maybe the Salubri are the hunters, and that like cuts one of those off the list.
Hey, the Tremere made a
I-
lot of
I don't-
enemies. Tremere made a lot of
They
enemies.
sure did. Jesus.
I
Yeah.
blame Dusan. Dusan, why'd you do this?
I blame Dusan. I also blame Dusan.
All right, then. With that, we are going to say our goodbyes. We are going to start off with the dear Dr. Quangle. Cyberbro, give us your outro.
All right. Well, hey, I'm Cyberbro. I've been Dr. Quangle. If you want to see me again, I'll be on Bob's channel, usually Tuesday nights, as the Knight Lucius Julius Julianus. Thanks.
All right. Up next, our dearest Hasib, Muffin Lord. Zach, why don't you give us your outro?
Hello, I'm Zach, and I just got done playing Muffin Lord Hasib, and what a blast! Hasib got to have his little slice of life feeding session, and it went perfectly, along with just about everything else not going super well. But I do like the Unbowed being on our team, in with an asterisk at the end of that, probably a few. But I'm excited to see how we deal with Caius. I think we're gonna do well, for sure.
All right. All right, then. Up next, the I was going to say something clever, but then I forgot it. The card-wielding maniac, Maruna. Ree, why don't you give us an outro?
Hello, everyone. I have been Reed today. I have played Maruna, and I've had a ton of fun doing it. I will be you can catch me on Mondays with Mortal Rolls. And we do Pathfinder Second Edition. You can catch me on Saturdays on Bob's channel, Ticking Time Bob Gaming, playing Legend of the Five Rings. And you can catch me sometimes on my channel drawing at Sorcery Arts.
Very nice. Up next, the inquisitive and backstory heavy Kess. Emily, why don't you give us your outro?
Yeah, that was a punch in the face by the backstory. Hi, I'm Emily. I played Kess, and he's fine. Emotionally, he's doing just fine. He may be in a cold sweat, but he's fine.
Exactly. He's fine. Probably.
It's fine. It's gonna be fine.
And last, and certainly not least, the dealing with powers he doesn't fully understand, Geordie. Bob, why don't you give us your outro?
Hey everyone, Taking Time Bob here. I played Jordy, the really lucky, conscious role oriented character right now. Yeah, that could have swung either way. I just want to say it was really fun to have that be. I feel like that could have been like a move towards the end real quick there if the role came up differently. So it was a fun episode. I do, as far as outros go, as mentioned, I do Pendragon 3 nights a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays with some of the folks here and some of our fellow folks in different games. Feel free to check that out. We also do Legend of the Five Rings on Saturdays, as mentioned by Ree. And yeah, that's all I'm going to mention for now. Going to Gamescom Canada next Thursday, so yeah, it's right around the corner. So if you're in the neighborhood, feel free to look us up or say hello.
All right, very nice. And I have been your storyteller, Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this series. There is more to come, as we have, I think, around 6 episodes left, roundabouts. So we're quickly heading towards a conclusion, perhaps. And with that, please please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, follow, and make sure you send this to as many people as possible. If there's someone who likes Vampire, send them this link. Please do. And I hope they will enjoy as much as our viewers enjoy so far. As well, for announcements, on Friday, I will be doing a new series. That will be an interim series until Isle of Ragnarok is back online. So for that, I think I will give you all a quick teaser for those of you who are here and watching. Put this on the stream. Hold on. There we go. The Court of Mithras will be in session Fridays at 6 p.m. EST. So please join us for what will be an interesting time. With that, have a good night, y'all. Hope you've enjoyed, and we will raid out. Why don't you keep the people interested? Anyone got any other shoutouts or any other updates?
I really should. I don't though. Brain's tired.
GameCon Canada this weekend. If anyone happens to be in the area of Edmonton, I'm not, but I'm flying there. It'll be fun. TTRPG stuff.
We are gonna go say hello to Knights of the Silver Moon.
Ah, on point.
She doesn't
Oh,
pull you
yeah.
aside to anywhere private.
So I hope you're excited
It's
for
on
some
the
more
walkway that
vampire
surrounds the
fun.
stairs of the main lobby.
And I hope your night
She
is
merely leans
continues
back
to be
against the
enjoyable,
railing
and that you
overlooks
don't find yourself
the
in the
floor below.
clutches of some vile kindred
Sure,
cult.
Very
Good night.
surprised me again.